Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. My name is Lara Ryan, and this is Complete Test Success. So if you don't know me already, I've been an IELTS examiner for writing and speaking, and I've been teaching IELTS since 2010. I'm the founder of Complete Test Success. Every week I run these, give you some support, just to give you some support with improving your scores. Today we're focusing on General Training IELTS Writing Task 1. So if you're doing academic IELTS, this lesson is not going to be very useful for you. Basically, we're going to work together to write an answer for a Task 1 General Training question. I'm going to get you to write the different parts of the letter, and then I can give you feedback. So if you're doing anything wrong, I can tell you what you're doing wrong. That information is what you need to improve your scores, because the more problems we can find, the easier it is to fix those problems and improve your score. You're very underrated. Yep. Thank you very much. Good to see you here, Babi. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to write a letter together. So here's the question for today's lesson. You have noticed an issue. You've noticed an issue with the public transportation in your local area. Write a letter to your local council in your letter. And now we have 3 prompts. So tell him or her what the issue is. We're going to write 1 paragraph about that. The second prompt, say how long it's affecting the local residents. We're going to write another paragraph about that. And the final prompt, suggest a possible solution. We're going to write a 3rd paragraph about that. So we're going to have 3 paragraphs, 1 paragraph for each prompt, and each paragraph is going to be about 60 words. So that is our goal for today's lesson. We must begin with writing a greeting for the letter. So that's my first task for you here today. Write a greeting, share it with me in the comments, and I will add it to the screen, or I will tell you if there are some problems. So that's basically what we're doing. You write the greeting, send it to me, and I'll add it to the document. And as we go along, you'll get to see, a good quality sample essay based on your writing, and also learn your mistakes and your problems. Right. So I'll give you a moment to share the greeting with me, and then we'll move on to the next part of the essay. Okay, we don't have many people here today, so it's quite typical for the general training lessons. So it's usually somewhere about 25% of students are doing general training, and academic is far more common. So these live streams are usually a bit, we have fewer people in attendance. Okay, I'm not sure if anyone's participating today, so I'm happy to jump in and do this myself. Okay, so you can see at the bottom it says begin your letter as follows: Dear Sir or Madam. There's absolutely no reason for us to do anything except exactly what we've been told to do. All right, so that's it. Dear Sir or Madam. They told us to say Dear Sir or Madam, so that's what we want to do. Okay, now the instructions, besides that little part of the instructions, they're always the same. So I'm just going to get this out of the way so we have more space on our document to see what we're doing. Okay, so now we're going to have 1 body paragraph about the first prompt. So the prompt says, tell him or her what the issue is. Now, I always get my students to just write a direct response to that prompt in the first sentence of the paragraph. Because if you don't write a direct response to the prompt, then you're not going to develop your idea as much as if you have it at the very beginning and then you dedicate the full 60 words to what the prompt has asked you to discuss. So what a lot of people will do is they'll say, oh, I have discovered an issue with the transportation, the public transportation in our area. But that's what the prompt is about. So you still haven't really you still haven't provided your idea when you give a kind of a general sentence about what you're going to say. So instead of introducing what you're going to say, just say exactly what is the issue. Just get straight into the paragraph with a direct response. So that's what I want you guys to do for me now. Write the first sentence of body paragraph 1 with a direct response to that prompt. Tell him or her what the issue is. Sometimes students say to me, oh, the most obvious problem would be that, like the buses are running late or something like this. And sometimes I have students who say, I don't want to use that idea because it's too obvious, or I'm worried that other students would have the same idea, or it's not unique enough. But those aren't requirements. I mean, if you have one relevant idea, go with it. Don't make things more complicated for yourself than they need to be. If you have an idea and it's appropriate, use it. Don't decide against it unless there's some reason why you think it would be difficult to develop, or it would be challenging for you to talk about because of your language ability. Maybe the topic, you have an idea, but you might not have the vocab to discuss it. So, I mean, if you have a valid reason for not choosing an idea, that's fine. But don't avoid ideas because you want to have more complicated or more unique, or anything beyond the actual requirements of the test. Okay, so let's say, for example, we could have something like this. I am writing to inform you that the buses in our city are often running late. And let's go with present perfect. Have been often running late in recent times. Okay, so something like that then. It's a direct response to the prompt. What's the problem? The buses have been running late. Okay, so straight to the point. And now what we want to do is we want to develop that paragraph so that we're talking about that idea of it running late and nothing else. Now, what a lot of people do wrong then is, okay, they have their first idea, it's running late. Instead of developing that idea, they start to mention other ideas. So it's running late. Also, they're quite dirty. Also, the bus driver is a bit rude. Also this. So they end up with a list of different problems. That is not considered a suitable development. Your development has to be, tell me about the idea that you've already mentioned. So instead of listing many, many issues, choose that one issue and stick with that for the whole paragraph and continue writing about it until you reach about 60 words or so. Okay, I'm just going to wait a moment in case someone wants to respond to that. And if not, I will write it for you. So let's just wait 1 minute. And if we get a response, I'll be able to give feedback on the student's writing. Okay, no problem. So let me jump in. I'm going to go through this myself. Okay, so what we have then is something like this. let's say, for example, for the last few months, it is quite common for buses to arrive between 20 and 30 minutes late. Now, in my head, I'm already thinking about how is this affecting the local residents, and I'm already kind of thinking like, and this is a problem for the local residents because. But when you see the second prompt says, say how it is affecting the local residents. So I don't want to get into that yet. I just want to continue explaining about the buses being late, especially in the mornings. This was never an issue before, so clearly something has gone wrong with the running of this service, something like that. So how long is that? Just get my word count out. 61 words. So that's just about right. Now, when you are in the IELTS test, it will have a word counter for you, so you don't need to stop and check the word count the way I am there. But I would strongly recommend that you keep an eye on how many words you're writing. If you go and put 80 words for one prompt and then 20 words for the next prompt, it doesn't balance out. It's not like you've done so well here that it counts as the other one being better than it is. It doesn't work like that. So that whichever idea you've developed the least will determine your score. So don't write too much about one and then very little about the next prompt. Try to balance them out. And obviously you're not going to land on exactly 60 words for each one, but roughly around that length is good. Okay. So next, say how it's affecting the local residents. So we need to write a paragraph about that one. Okay. So yeah, let me see there. Make it a little bit bigger for you. Make it easier for you to read. Okay. So say how it is affecting local residents. All right. So this is obviously an issue for any local people using this service, as many of them maybe including myself are arriving late to work several times a week. Even the earliest bus in the day won't allow many citizens to be on time. When it collects passengers. After the scheduled time. Okay. So what do we have here? About 50 words. This isn't something that employers will tolerate, and people could potentially lose their jobs. Okay, great. So that's long enough. All right, and that brings me back to the question again, and we have one more prompt, suggest a possible solution. Okay, so let's do that one. Suggest a possible solution. Okay. Okay. I would recommend that you do some research to find out the source of this issue, because it will be impossible to rectify the situation without having that information. It may be due to poor management, or possibly drivers not starting their shifts on time, but this is something that you will need to discover to solve the problem, or something like that. Okay, so that's my full letter done. But now I need to sign off. So last job to sign off. Kind regards is fine, because kind regards is a formal sign off. If it was an informal letter, we could say something like best wishes. It's not suitable in this situation. So kind regards is a suitable sign off for a formal letter, and then we put in our first name and our last name. And there is a full sample answer done in 16 minutes. The paragraphs combined are about 184 words, so that's a nice length. And obviously there's still time left to go back and check for vocab mistakes and grammar mistakes, which I would really, really strongly recommend. Ideally you would be able to finish your essay in 15 minutes or so, not your essay, excuse me, finish your letter in 15 minutes or so. And that will give you time to go back and see if you can find some vocab mistakes, see if you can find some grammar mistakes. It's good to be aware as well of what type of grammar mistakes you're making, because most people will have one or two grammar areas where they make most of their mistakes. So at least if you know what that is, of course, before the test, try your best to improve that grammar area so that you're performing at the highest standard possible within your time restrictions. But when you're actually finished writing the letter, if you know that, okay, my most common mistakes are punctuation and plurals, then look specifically for those mistakes, because that will help you to improve the quality of your answer more than anything else. Right. So we're going to finish up there. Quite early today, not much in the way of participation. Thanks, Hing. Thanks, Bappy, for jumping in the comments. And if anyone has any questions, reach out. That's my email address. And I'll be back with another live stream next week, focusing on a more popular part of the IELTS test. So I'll be able to help more of you there. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye for now.